My assignment is a small part of the ancient Rome assignment. And now what's going to happen with this assignment is that they are going to take a virtual field trip to explore the city of Pompeii with the ultimate themes of geography and place and how geography and topography affects the development, rise, and ultimate fall of civilization, specifically in the context of Pompeii and ancient Rome. So, for this virtual field trip, the students will be using the tool ThingLink, which I have up here. Now, students usually get very excited about taking normal field trips. So the fact that they're taking a virtual field trip and are able to explore a distant location through the use of technology and their iPad or computer, I think will be very exciting for them. Now, when they walk into the classroom, um, they're going to be split up into groups, and each group will have the directions written in front of them. But I also will model the directions for them. So I will show them the ThingLink site, where everything is located, and what they need to do so that they have that visual as well. Now we got to remember in the classroom too, we have um, a lot of art that's been created by previous students. So we have paper mache Roman columns. We have a paper mache Poseidon, or as the Romans would call him, Jupiter. We have posters depicting life in ancient Rome. So you really get this ambiance and this environment that feels like you're in ancient Rome. So students have the directions. I've modeled it for them, and they go to the ThingLink, and they see a lot of these exciting and cool pictures already. Now, what I have them do as part of the assignment is they are going to pick a time of day in 79 AD when they would be citizens of Pompeii. And they're also going to choose a section of the city to live in and potentially a profession that they would be doing. And so they're going to come to this website again, ThingLink, the Pompeii assignment. And what's great about ThingLink is that all of your resources, especially for this assignment, are in one place. So they don't have to go searching around. They don't have to bookmark anything. They don't have to write down anything. All of the resources that they need to use are on this one website. And so it makes it easy for the students to organize their thinking, to find each thing, and hopefully limits their frustration. So there's a couple resources that they have to use for this assignment. And the first one is the British Museum, and it's called Life and Death in, in Pompeii and Herculaneum. And so they come here and they see this cool picture of the ruins of Pompeii as they are right now. And so they have this option is the eruption timeline or the life and death in Pompeii and Herculaneum. So first they're going to go to the eruption timeline, and you'll see this website is great. So it has maps here. It has short little excerpts. And again, it breaks down that day into sections, just like the students are doing. So they might have morning, they might have midday, they might have evening, they might have the next morning. And so they have maps here too. They have great photos of the artifacts from the city right here. They have some excerpts from primary sources, and then they have some great videos as well. So it's really an easily navigable and it's exciting website. It's got different modalities, and most of the writing is limited to short little blurbs. Again, you have a lot of photos and graphics, and you have some great videos on there. So I think the students will really enjoy that. Next, they have two other places they have to go, which would be the Google Maps Street View of the ruins. Before they went to that, they would probably want to check out the ancient map of Pompeii. And after they do that, they can check out the Google Maps Street View of the ruins. So again, they want to get a better conception of how the city was actually laid out, what it looks like now, and where their character might live and reside. They can actually get a ground level view of that section of the city, which is very cool. And then Google Maps is a tool I know for a fact the middle schoolers love to use and are familiar with. So this is a tool, again, that they're using for fun and in their everyday life. And so now I'm taking this tool that they're familiar with and that they really enjoy to help them explore this ancient area that we're learning about. So those are the three they have to use: the Google Maps, the ancient map, and the British Museum timeline of events. But what's great about this assignment is that they have so many other resources that they can use, but they're not required. So there's a lot of options. So if there's a certain aspect that you want to research more, you're more than welcome to do that. You're encouraged to do that, but you don't have to. If you're just interested in this and you want to flesh out a little bit more of what happened, you can absolutely go to the multitude of other resources. But there's only 3 that you have to use. So this is Pliny the Younger, and he had an eyewitness account of what happened with Mount Vesuvius and the destruction of Pompeii. So the students are welcome to read that. That's in its entirety. What else is great about this too is students can look at something and they can comment on it. Now they're not required to comment, but they're again strongly encouraged to comment. And by commenting, it facilitates discussion among the students. It tells students where certain things are located. Students might say, oh, this was a great video, very, very cool to watch. Some might say, I didn't realize the eruption lasted for this long. And then you start to see what the kids are learning as an instructor. It's a quick little way, and it's an informal assessment to see areas of learning and what maybe needs to be a little bit more emphasized to the students. So that's the ThingLink part of this assignment. Then the last part, they've explored ThingLink, they've looked at everything, they've maybe made some comments, and they're going to go to the student meet, today's meet. And it is a area for it's virtual classroom discussion, so they can write quick little notes, kind of like sort of a Twitter, but a little bit safer of a Twitter. So they'd come up with a screen name. We'd have a classroom open room discussion, and they would write 2, 3, or 4 tweets about what was going on in their lives when they were in Pompeii the day of the eruption. So each student would do that. And again, this is just short little tweets, small, concise thoughts. So it's nothing that's really overwhelming. They're encouraged to be, short with them. And then what we're going to use this is afterwards, we're going to look at the transcript. And the students can go back and look at the transcript and say, okay, yeah, let's piece together what happened in Pompeii that day. And they're going to try to see if it makes sense and if what they wrote is really coherent and you can develop a timeline. Then they're going to take that timeline and they're going to compare it to the actual timeline the British Museum put together, and they're going to say, okay, yeah, this is very accurate, or no, we made some mistakes and potentially this is what happened and why we made those mistakes and why there's the discrepancies. So it gets them thinking about what they learned, what they did, and what they could have done better. So it's a little bit of an evaluative tool. And then for the instructor, now I have a whole transcript of what the students tweeted. So ultimately, what they learned, the extent of their learning, and who participated, how much they participated. And so it's really an important assessment tool. And then to finish the assignment for the day, there would be a quick little quiz on Socrative, which can be customized and enhanced in certain ways, and it's an online way in which they can sort of take either a multiple choice or a short answer quiz, and it would probably only be about 5 questions. And again, that would be using technology to assess the students, and it would all be just right there for them on their iPads or computers. Then the next day, the last part of the assignment likely would be to connect what they've been learning to their current daily lives. And so what I would have them do is I would have them look at either Mount St. Helens or the eruption of Montserrat or a current natural disaster like maybe Hurricane Sandy or Hurricane Katrina, and examine what happened. But again, looking at the theme of why people settle in certain areas even though there's a threat of a natural disaster. And so this will really connect it to modern day and current events, because I'm sure a lot of them have seen what was happening with Hurricane Sandy. They saw it on the news, or they've heard about the events of Hurricane Katrina. And even here, they still have, volcanic eruptions that happened, years ago in Mount St. Helens, more recently in Montserrat, and even more recently in Iceland. And so the students would again have a choice of which one they wanted to pick. They could pick even a different natural disaster that I haven't listed here. And again, they have a lot of choice with this, and they're going to look at that and say, okay, well, even though there was this threat of something happening, why did people settle here? How did this settlement develop? And so again, it's another opportunity to connect history. Even though we're learning about an ancient city, an ancient civilization, we still deal with these same problems and issues today. And so it will make them really more meaningful and relevant for them. And we know that students learn better if what they're learning is relevant and important and meaningful for them. And that's really a way to do this. And now we keep in mind that we do have, some students who learn at different paces. So again, there's a lot of choice in this assignment. I would go around to each table and make sure that kids were understanding and were on track. Um, and you know, even with how many things you write in today's meet, it could be 2 or it could be 4. You could use 3 resources. You could use 8 resources. It's really, there's a lot of choice in this assignment, and you're really able to utilize technology and take advantage of the technology